Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. Got a great show for you today. I got a great guest in studio. Again, I think it's her third or fourth time. It's probably her fourth time, but it didn't include the time I blew up the recording. We're going to bring her on in just a moment. As always, you can find all the back episodes of our podcast at our website, ordinarymarathoner.com. Check it out if you get a chance. You can also find us over on YouTube now. Our YouTube channel is up and running. We're downloading all the, or uploading, I guess, all the audio into video form. So you can find all the podcasts there as well. Find that it works good for work. If you're sitting at work, you can throw the little headphone in your ear and kind of minimize the screen. And when the boss comes by, they'll never know. You can listen to the podcast that way. So, what else we got? We got our Facebook page, Ordinary Marathoners. Great group over there. A lot of supportive runners. It's actually growing pretty good. I think we're up to like 675 people and, very active. And, you know, whether you are a ultra marathoner or you are just starting out, couch to 5K, or you're just at the couch part and you're looking for some motivation to get to the 5K part, come on over, join the group, check us out. You can also find me at Twitter at OrdMarathoner. That's ORD Marathoner. Love to have you over there. Follow me there. I'll follow you back. We can get the conversation going on over there. This podcast episode is brought to you by Queen Bean Coffee. I love the Queen Bean. So the Queen Bean is a sponsor for our Ordinary Marathon, which we are putting together. That's going to be in late April, early May, raising money for the SAM Fund. Really looking forward. We've been working hard behind the scenes on this one, guys. I got to tell you, and I think it's going to be a great event. And the Queen Bean is backing us. I tell you, like I have a Keurig. So I'm always buying coffee and I always need those little K cups. Well, she actually has things called the Q cups, and I stock up and I load up, and they never disappoint. She gave out a gift basket last year to one of our Ordinary Marathon participants, and he could not say enough good things about it. So check it out. It's thequeenbean.com. I'm sure she'd love to have your support over there. Moving on to our show for today. My guest, three times to you, four times to me. Laura Stebbins, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Hello, happy to be back.
And we're glad to have you. I do apologize for the last time you were here.
No, that's all right.
So the last time she was here, we recorded an entire episode. And it was good. It was
a really good one. It was fun.
It was the best episode I've ever done, I'm going to say.
That's how
that no one will ever hear.
We know it happened.
It was, yeah. And so I took out the little data card and I went to go listen to it, and it just, for some reason, you know, I'm not an audio geek. I'm terrible at it. And I chose just totally destroy. I could play it for you, actually. It's pretty horrible.
Pretty terrible.
It was unlistenable. It would have been, so I apologize for that. But what a wasted day. But, you know, just to rewind back a little bit, you know, that was just after Ironman Lake Placid.
Yes. That was a great race.
Which you crushed.
It was fun.
You crushed. And what was your time?
13 hours, 59 minutes, 23 seconds.
Wow, right to the second she knows.
To the second, yeah.
Well, I mean, and your goal was?
Sub 14.
And so you got it.
I did it. Yeah.
You got it. That was awesome.
15-minute PR on the course.
And you have been, I mean, you work your ass off though. It's no, I mean.
I do. I try to anyway.
And, you know, I think last time the listeners spoke, you know, heard you had done Lake Placid the year before. Clearly your passion for the sport sort of shows through when we chat. But, I mean, I feel like it's only getting stronger for you.
It's like a good drug.
like following you on Facebook is like just a lesson in triathlon.
Yeah, I get catch some slack from people, but it's okay. I want to share. There's more people that find it motivating and, you know, get something positive from it than I get for crap from my family, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, there she is with her triathlon stuff again.
Yeah. Oh, she's on her bike.
Right, guess where Laura is, at the pool. But you've kind of taken it to a new level. Do we want to go here?
You can, yeah.
Yeah. You were, are you officially certified or you got to take a test still?
I have the test. I'm doing some reviews on it. I have till the 31st to submit it. So for a USAT certified, level 1 coaching. So I've taken the class. I've got all the material. Now I just have to
get the clients.
Submitted and waiting for him to be like, okay.
And the test is no joke.
It's not. It's thorough. So they want to make sure anybody who passes this test, knows what they're talking about, because there's a lot of information that's covered and a lot that we have to know. So
the certificate, once you're certified, how does it work? Do you have to be certified in order to coach, or maybe you have to be certified to represent yourself as a...
So the certificate's good because it kind of validates that you know what you're talking about when you're talking to athletes and you're coaching athletes.
Yeah.
And I know we've had a discussion before where people, have asked me about coaching, and I'm like, not until I have something to show that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I know people that have done coaching without getting the certificate. I just think it kind of validates that the person you're working with knows what they're talking about.
And so do you have to get insurance and stuff like that? Is that...
So it depends. There's a lot of different details that goes into it. So you are certified through USAT, insured by USAT when you get the certificate.
Okay, that's cool.
So you're paying dues for it, and you have to do continuing education. So you can't just get you can't just get certified and you're good to go.
Right.
You have to continue.
Every year you got to go to a seminar and...
Yeah, there's seminars, there's online things you can do. There's actually a lot of different avenues to get that. But that's good. I want to continue to learn, and if somebody's coaching me, I'd want them to continue to learn.
Of course.
Not go on old school science.
Right. So. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of, if someone was old school teacher now, what would they be doing? I don't even know. I don't know. But, just old school methods. But, so, I mean, I think this is so great that you're doing this, because I'm sort of living vicariously through you, because I can see myself doing something like this. And in fact, you told me about the course a while back. We did actually talk about this on the last podcast. We did. But not too much, because I didn't want to blow the surprise too much. But, in terms of, for you coaching, but, I mean, it's definitely something that I would be interested to do in the future. But, obviously I couldn't, I used it as my excuse, I guess, but I didn't go to the class because, it was Ellie's due date. She was due.
And had you gone to the class, she would have gone into labor
at 8 o'clock
in the morning when the class started.
Exactly. It would have happened exactly that way. Probably just stress would have right?
Because you're gone.
But she was in labor for 63 hours, so it would have given me...
deserves her own finisher medal. I know Ellie is that, but she needs something
she did.
I had a human, so...
Yeah. But she, I think they would have given me plenty of time to make it back.
Yeah.
But although the traffic that you had to deal with that day...
It took me 4.5 hours for an hour trip, because it was just the first snow, so everybody forgot how to drive, and it was...
For some reason, I always find that, and I don't know if maybe it's just a natural thing, but the first snowfall every year, the roads suck.
So bad.
And I don't know if it's because they forgot how to treat them, or they didn't, or just maybe the roads... Once they're treated, then they kind of stay treated, and so it's a little bit easier to do it after that. But I find that the first snowfall every year, it's like everyone just forgot, what snow was all about.
Right, we're in New England. This isn't new to us.
Come on, guys. But I mean, you did get there.
I got there.
In one piece.
Slowly but surely, I made it there.
So, and did you find the whole thing a worthwhile experience?
It was amazing. Yeah, I learned so much during that class. The teachers were great. Jesse and Karen, they were great. Jesse from QT2, he's actually been involved with them for a while, and actually Karen's one of their coaches as well. He really knows what he's talking about, and she's great with nutrition and things like that. So I've got a whole new insight into the world of coaching and what they actually do, and it's sounds like much bigger than...
It probably helped you as an athlete almost as much as you know.
Yeah, as soon as I got home, I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, all right, what have I been doing wrong? What do I need to fix? And
next year, 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Well, next year, different course.
Yeah, so you're in Mont Tremblant next year, right?
I am. Really excited about it.
I know.
So
you should go to Lake Placid too, just to
I am. Yeah, I'm not racing, but I'll be there Friday to Monday.
So by the time I finish, you're going to be hammered.
I'm going to be working the finish line when you
Awesome.
Finish.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You should give me my medal. That would be great.
I'm going to try.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Unless Heather Jackson can give me the medal, in which case...
It's going to be a men's pro race, though.
Oh, is that what it does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Alternate.
Yeah, they alternate. So, Andy...
maybe Andy, yeah.
So you joined a new team.
I did.
So let's talk about
Heather and Andy.
Right. Oh, Heather's on the team, too. That's right.
Heather's husband, Sean Watkins, is the owner of Waddy Inc.
Okay. So how did this happen?
I have a fangirl passion for Heather Jackson, not in a creepy way,
Stalkerish.
But anybody who knows me knows, like, I look up to this woman. She's just so down to earth. I met her in Placid. She's small and petite like me, and it helps me see, because I'm only 5 feet tall. She's 5'4", and I got a lot of slack from people like, "You're so small. How are your little legs going to cover this distance?" And she's someone who not only covers the distance, she wins races. Yeah,
she does it well. She won last year.
She did. She won Placid last year. Yeah. I actually saw her finishing the marathon while I was coming in on my second loop of the bike. I rode next to her for a minute. I'm like,
did she pass you on the first loop of the bike or no?
No,
she passed me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even close to the end of the first loop. I was like, I was dying.
Yeah, no. So she was finishing her race. I'm about to go start a run for the marathon. So that was nice. But she was just so down to earth and cool. And everything that Wadi represents is something that I can get on board with. Like, it's just about working hard, getting the results, but still it's like a family. So I
was going to say, it sounds like, see, when I see some athletes out there, like wearing certain outfits or whatnot, I don't know how close-knit, like, the team is. And I feel like something like that, like you see a lot of Wadi athletes out there, right? And you kind of, I don't know, I kind of assume, like, well, you throw your name in the hat and maybe they give you like a discount on stuff or something like that. And then you're part of the team, but maybe you can like email someone now and again just to make sure that, you're writing enough tweets with their name on it or whatever, you're filling your requirement. And you never know how much they get involved, but it sounds like you got a pretty interesting group over there.
It's only been a couple months, and they're above and beyond. So of course, we get team discounts. We get things like that. The thousands of people applied to this. They were really selective with who they took on, which makes me feel nice. Like, they're not just accepting anybody who applies. And
you wonder how much research they do behind it all.
Yeah. It could have helped my Facebook profile picture was me and Heather. But all seriousness though. I'm friends with people that were on the team before that are still on this team that have now made to the elites for Wadi, which is my goal for next year. But the team, aside from giving discounts, we get learn lessons. So we've got a Facebook page. It's a private secret page for us.
Secrets.
Yeah. Wadi secrets. So we get, tips and tricks that they'll post things, but we also do like Facebook Lives. Right. So with like the Purple Tiger, with Andy Potts, with Heather Jackson and Joe Gamble, and we have these where we can have conversations with these people on Facebook Live and go back and forth. Like, Andy's taught me about pull buoy, not wearing using pull buoy, but wearing like tri shorts for TYR, and positionings with putting your hands in the water for the swim. And then Joe Gamble's and Heather were talking about recovery and stuff. So it's not just a team that you're getting stuff. It's like they really want you to be successful, and not just because you're representing their brand, but they want to help build you as an athlete. And
it sounds like you've had interesting conversations with Heather Jackson and Andy Potts. It's conversations that maybe we should be having on the podcast. If you care to hook a brother up,
Yeah. So it was actually funny when we had our end of year Ascension multi-sport party, little shroud. I'm sitting there and I'm texting on my phone, and Nick, who is our coach, is like, "Get off your phone." I'm like, I can't. And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause I'm Facebook messaging with Andy Potts." And he's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes, I am. Stay on your phone. Stay on your phone.
Right. But it's not like, how was your Tuesday? Like, we're talking about like racing, things like that. Yeah. So I am actually part of AP Racing as well. With Andy Potts' team.
So. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. You are, before we know it, you're going to be on Kona. I'm going to turn on the Kona, and there's Laura. She was on my podcast.
5 times.
Yeah. Well, you guys only know 4 by then. But it sounds like you're having a blast.
It's a lot of fun. I'm really it's my happy place. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to we're plug in Ink Wadi like crazy on this. I'm gonna have to see if I'm gonna hold up this episode for a fee from them. But
they plug themselves, but seriously,
that sounds like really cool.
I don't feel like I have to say this. Like, I want everybody to know how great this team is. The support from Sean and Heather and Becca, and it's just it's kind of like a little family, and I'm really happy.
Yeah, no, you sound it. You sound.
Am I showing my enthusiasm enough? You guys can't.
I also noticed you've been swimming 2 times a week. What's up with that?
Yeah. So swimming is my weakness. I've not liked the pool. I've not liked swimming. So my big goal for myself is to get in the water. So, one of the things I took away from the class is I'm not doing enough. And looking at it, it's the pros are swimming 10,000 yards a week in the pool, and I'm doing one swim for 4,000 yards.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, I'll stop you there because the pros, they swim 10,000 yards, but they take 2 hours to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is one of the things that I've been watching because.
And not all at once either. They break them up.
And if Andy Potts ever came on the show, this is one of the things I want to talk to him about.
Yeah.
So I'm riding on Zwift now. I'm doing all my riding on Zwift, and Andy's on it as well, which means I'm sure you're going to be on it shortly. But if you're interested, I can show you all Andy's workouts.
Okay.
Which is, so it's kind of cool. Like if you follow someone, you can see like sort of the details of their workouts. Mm-hmm. And, the one thing I've always, for me at least, the one thing, like weight has always been like a battle for me, trying to get to a lower weight. And so I rode for like an hour and a half the other night. And I burned maybe 700 calories. It wasn't an especially strong workout for me, but it was just kind of like a base kind of workout. And then Andy did a ride that night, and he did for maybe like 10 minutes more than me, and he burned like 1,800 calories. Like
he's got a crazy high cadence.
It's it's insane. It's insane. And then so you wonder, like, how do these guys get so skinny and stay so skinny? Mm-hmm. And he weighs less than me to begin with, and he's crushing me in calories burned. So, it's like, it's almost like these guys are their metabolism has to be insane. But and I can't even think about pushing out the power.
Yeah. The power, cadence, all the stuff.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
And I'm just like, I can do 2 hour workouts, 2 hours of workouts a day, and I'm still not losing the weight that much, but I'm not pushing out the effort levels that these guys are doing, and it's insane to watch. And I'm sure you're gonna like see more and more firsthand. Now, it's impressive. It
makes me feel like I need to push. Like I already feel myself pushing harder and doing more. I'm not at that level at all. Yeah. But like I did an FTP test today, and I'm like crushing, like crying the whole time. You're like, I love FTP testing. I'm like, you're a sadist.
Yeah. Well,
no one should love FTP.
I should kind of caveat that. I like the last one I liked because I knew I was going to do better than the one before, and it's nice to see
the progress.
Improvement, right? It's always nice. Like when you finish your Ironman and you crush your goal, it's like, it's nice to be like, wow, all that training, here's a result,
Right.
So I went from like a 198 FTP to like a 212, which from 14 watts in, less than a year for me I felt good. It made me feel good about it. So, I have a long way to go too, cause these guys are insane. Like 270.
Yeah, like it's like 330's my FTP.
Yeah, jerks. What's worse is some of them are like so skinny, and I'm like, all right, like at least the one thing I have is like I would think I have strength over them, but no.
So there's one of my biggest things is skinny versus lean.
All right.
They're lean.
Lean, yeah. You don't want skinny. You don't
want skinny. They're lean. They've got muscles. Their quads are as big as my waist.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
I've seen, what? I watched a video. I don't know if you posted this. Someone posted a video of a Olympic cyclist, pushing out enough watts to toast a piece of bread. Did you see this video?
No, I didn't see this.
You gotta see this video. First of all, this guy's quads are like weightlifter quads, like bigger. Like, I could, and he did it, and he did it with such anguish. It was, it was crazy. But, I don't know. I watch these guys, and like I've seen, like I watch Lionel Sanders' YouTube channel a lot, and the same thing. Like you think he's skinny when you kind of see him from far away, but then when they come up close and you see like his waist is really thin, but his chest and his back are all
definition is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. Like he's a big dude, and I'm sure he's not weighing like 200 pounds. He's probably like 170 pounds or 165 somewhere like that. But he's all. I mean, it's all chiseled. There's no fat on these guys.
Yeah. So there's a benefit for strength training because you're definitely going to get the muscles, strength, obviously, like what you said. But like for the swim, it's making a big difference, things like that. But you don't want to get too big because then that muscle's going to weigh you down. It's going to burn more calories.
There's a happy medium somewhere.
Right. There is a happy medium because, like Jesse, one of the stories he had told us at the USAT course was he used to be a bodybuilder and he had all this extra weight from muscle. So he's eating more calories and he's not getting the results. So he had to actually lose muscle weight. So there's a fine-tuned balance to it that I'm learning.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, geez, how to do that? How do you lose muscle weight? I don't know. I mean, it's diet. And,
yeah. Just basically diet, and you just change the kind of workouts you're doing.
Yeah. Like more cardio type stuff and less bulking up. So I want to talk to you about it. We're going to get after this podcast. I'm going to hold you hostage here for a while because I need to find and this is how I get free coaching. Like I need to find that sort of happy medium of what I should be doing, how many times a week, how many, bike being my weakness. How many times do you bike? It's not really necessarily your weakness.
Yeah.
But how many times would, if you're in season for training, how many times a week would you bike?
In season?
Yeah. I mean, we're all off season now.
Well, so we're in off season. I'm doing 3 times, but in season, like 5 times.
5 times a week. See, yeah, and
but they're not all. I'm on the bike for 3 hours, 5 times a week. I could go on for 45 minutes and then go do a 20-minute run. It's like we said, it's about balance because you don't want to go on the bike and then you're just blowing out those muscles. You want to make sure that you're training everything adequately.
Right, and so, and then run. I mean, run. I don't know. We got to talk about this. I have like a whole spreadsheet.
Oh, good. I have my stuff actually in the car.
All right. Well, this can be just very basic, high level stuff. It doesn't have to be.
Okay. We can get into specifics later.
All right. Hey, I'll be your test subject, and as long as you have insurance.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So,
I will.
All right. That works for me. What was I going to say? So let's talk about your schedule coming up. So now, when's the test?
I'm actively taking the test now.
Oh, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope this isn't part of it.
It is actually. Yeah, no. So you get the time from the test and then you get a few weeks to complete it. So I'm not just, right. And we have the test, we've got the material. So I could bang through this test like nothing and be like, all right, this one, all right, I found this answer on this page, plug it in. But I don't want to just do that. I'm actually reading and learning. You want to actually learn it, right? The material. So
right, which
is smart.
I'm
going slower through it, but it's only because I want to make sure I'm giving it I want to be a quality coach, not just.
Which makes a lot of sense. It's funny because you kind of go through life with your everyday job, and geez, I'm going to be looking for one soon, so I shouldn't talk about this too badly. But when you're used to your routine and you're kind of, you maybe hit some lower points where you don't get involved, but it seems like something like this for you is such a passion, so that you're not just trying to check the boxes and get the certification so I can coach and make a few extra bucks on the side.
No beer money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have to delete that if he listens to this. He's gonna know what he's talking about. Come on. We love you, Nick. No, but it just sounds like like you're in it for the right reasons. Like you want to help people and really. I mean, that's the kind of coach that people are going to want. And I think, you've probably had some people, I know at least one person who's already asked you, who's already asked about it. But, you have a couple people in mind already, like people that have reached out to you?
Yeah, I have a couple people that have reached out about just doing like some sprint triathlons and stuff that aren't ready to start yet, but they want to in the future. And I said, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to be here. Yeah. There's people that I've asked specifically, like, I want you to do this. So I'm going to coach you for free, but it's because I want you to be successful. So I won't go into like the specifics of who it was.
That's how you build a business.
Right. Well, and like my thing is when I first started triathlon, I was at a really low part in my life. Like I wasn't happy. I was in a terrible relationship. I was unhealthy, really overweight. I'm down 60 pounds since that point. Great. But it's just completely turned my life around in such a positive way. And I have so many more positive people in my life, and my outlook on things is so different that I want other people to have that.
Well, I have a good idea for you then. You should go around to support groups.
Yeah, and
hand out your card.
Yeah. Here. Having a bad day, go ride your bike for 90 minutes.
There you go. And hire me as a coach. But no, I know what you mean. And I think, the story is similar for me. I've had, similar for me. And a lot of people I think that we have on the podcast is, something clicks in your life that just makes you want to, it's like a productivity button that gets pressed for whatever reason, wherever stage of life that you're in, that all of a sudden you're like, man, I got to change something. I got to do something different. And you flick that switch and all of a sudden, you're motivated and going the right way. And sometimes people need guidance, which is, I think, especially, triathlon wasn't something I'd ever thought I'd get into. And now here I am doing it. And, And it's funny, like, so we were talking about, I've had a rough couple weeks, well, a rough week. And that's the thing in my brain. I think couple weeks, I think like, oh, I'm having some crappy times and I probably didn't get 4 days worth of workouts done in 2 weeks. And before that, for 4 months, I was on all the time. So 4 months of great workouts. And then I have 4 days in 2 weeks that are bad. And I feel like my world is crumbling.
It's over.
Yeah. And
you're done. Just retire.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that if like a good coach would be like, all right, it's not the end of the world. Like, this is how we fix it. You get back on, we find a routine, do all that stuff. And, I think that's along the lines of what you'll be doing.
Yeah. So one big aspect of it that I did take away from it, and like I took a lot away, but just taking my tests and stuff like that and reading the materials, the mental game of it is huge. And people think it's just this physical, you're going to go out, you're going to bang out these workouts.
I would think it's even more so.
It's the mental aspect of it. And I'm reading all this stuff. I'm like, this is me. I am this athlete. But seriously, like
mental deficiency number 1, check.
Right. Yeah. So like
number 2, I've been there.
I have open water fears, and I'm reading into this, and it talks about how you can help your athletes if you're afraid of the water, you might not overcome it, but ways that you can get comfortable in it. So if you're afraid of what's under the water, we're going to go snorkeling. We're going to go look under the water. We're going to see what's there. Hopefully you don't see like a barracuda or something terrible to like confirm that you should be afraid. But like just different tips to help work with the mental thing, and that don't just quit because you missed a couple days of a workout. Like, okay, fine, reset, get back on the saddle, go.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting that there's all there. I think the water, did it freak you out?
Kind of. So I wasn't freaked out. I don't get upset about the water. I get upset about getting punched in the face in the water.
Yeah,
but at Placid,
so do you swim on the cable at Placid?
I do. Well, second lap I did.
Second lap you did. All right. Because I go nowhere near it for that precise reason.
Yeah. So the second lap, once it's thinned out a little bit, I was not directly on the cable, but enough that I could keep it in my sight.
In your sight, right.
But my mistake was when I was looking down at the cable, I looked at one of the cords for one of the buoys and just saw it drop into the abyss and just keep going
just go
forever.
dark.
And like, don't look anymore. Like, I'm not doing this. Because you just see it disappear and go forever. You're like, how deep is this?
Yeah, who knows? You just keep going.
Yeah, I just watched the movie.
It's like Finding Nemo, right?
So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So don't look.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the movie about the crocodile, Lake Placid.
Yeah. But then we're not in Lake Placid. We're in Mirror Lake. So
that's okay. So it's different.
It doesn't cross the land. You're okay.
The crocodile can't make it over.
No, he can't walk that far.
But the Meg could just be. I don't know. I haven't seen that one. We were gonna watch it last night and we didn't. What did we watch instead? We watched the old school movie. I think we watched like A Time to Kill or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Which has nothing to do with triathlon. But yeah, no. I think the water does. But it's interesting that they cover that.
Yeah.
In the class. So it seems like it was like was it a weekend thing? It was like just 2 days or was it more?
Friday and Saturday from 8 to 4:30ish. Depends on like how much we covered. But, and it wasn't just like they were talking at us. There was hands-on stuff. So I learned how to do, see somebody and do a run analysis and see their body mechanics. Wow. And we actually went over like bike fitting. So if you have your athlete on the bike and they're having poor results or they're having hip issues, things like that, looking and seeing where you can make adjustments for them on the bike. And it was
that's kind of neat. Yeah, it seems like they covered an awful lot.
An awful lot. And it wasn't like they were just shouting at us and we were like
take notes.
Right. Yeah. It was interactive.
Now, did they do like weight training?
We talked about strength training and things like that, but not too much into
detail.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about the positives that.
So is that something like, would you be comfortable, like if an athlete went to you and said, all right, like how much strength training should I get in? Can you help me out? Would you be able to take that athlete and bring him to the gym and walk him through a 20-minute hour workout?
Yes.
All right. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. No, I do actually have some gym experience. I was gym rat for a while and my ex was actually a trainer. So I do know a bit about strength training already going into it.
So you've got all these bases covered. You're good to go. Yeah. You're good to go. I'm just, I'm trying to, it is, I'm projecting my own fears and anxieties. If I was in your shoes, what would I, but it's, I think it's great that you're doing it. I think you're going to be really successful doing it. I think, you take someone who has a lot of passion of something and then here's here's a way to sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Not exert, but I don't know, just get involved, I guess, with sort of transfer that passion to other people and to be involved. I think, this is great.
And being an athlete first helps because now I can take things where I'm like, I really wish I had my coach here for this. I really wish my coach did this for me. And I can be, all right, I knew that when I was struggling, this is what I needed. My athlete might be, they could just be like, Laura, leave me alone. I'm fine. But I'm going to at least extend that out, reach out and do things that I felt like I needed at that end. And, I might be too much involved, but I'd rather be over involved than.
I don't think there's any such thing. I mean, I think, if someone's not doing the work, I guess you got to be on them. Mm-hmm. And then if you're doing too much, if you're on them too much, they're going to back out, but that's just because they're not doing the work. And then,
and there's got to be a little bit of accountability on the athlete who wants to do the work and want to be successful. I can only tell you that you have to do things so many times.
Yeah, of course.
But if it's,
trust me. That was me with Nick. I'm like, Nick, sorry, all those workouts I didn't do. Yeah. If you gave me 5 workouts, I did 3, or you gave, and that was, that, I think I mentally for me, I can train on my own. And that's when I did, I was fine. It's all about being present. And it's something that no one else can do for me. It's something that I have to do for myself. And if I feel like Nick would have helped me a lot if I would have been in training mode the entire way through, that I would have been able to do all the stuff he had me doing and get really involved. And then I think what happened was not that I lost interest, but when I couldn't follow through with all of the training things that I needed, it was just very easy for me to kind of either do my own thing or just, kind of back out a little bit. And, and that's why I think, I just wasn't ready for Lake Placid. It was, in the end, I can only blame myself. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, had he been here, cause he's kind of he's 2 hours away.
Right.
I mean, he could have been knocking on my door telling me to get my ass out of bed.
And that makes a difference too. So you got to take that into account. If you're going to have a coach that's going to be a virtual coach, or you're going to have a coach that's going to be hands-on. So I have a friend who's also training for Ironman Canada next year, and we were talking about going to the pool, and I'm like, all right, go to the pool. You're coming to the pool. And then we went and did a swim, and then I'm like, all right, I'm
they're
done.
Local?
And they're still going. Yeah. So it's just great. And it makes a difference having somebody there to be like, all right, we're going to go do this now.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do this. You do this too. We're going to,
Right. Well, it hold you accountable. It's great. And
that
easier.
You can be there and hold a hand for the athlete at every single workout, but.
Right. But no, it certainly helps. And I think Stephanie's joining a running group. She's going to be doing her Couch to 5K program. And we found out there's a local running group around here from Fleet Feet. Who, by the way, we might do a live 5K, like a local 5K as part of the Ordinary Marathon, and Fleet Feet's going to help us out. But yeah, it's just, so he was saying, that they have these running groups and people show up and they're like, oh, I really didn't want to come tonight, but I didn't want to let you guys down. I wanted to see you. I wanted, and, it just gives you another level of accountability.
That actually might be the Facebook group I just added you to.
Oh, yeah? That's cool. That's cool.
A bunch of local runners. On Friday, we're going to go run up Mount Tom. So if you'd like to join us for that. Crazy Friday night plans.
I think I have a thing.
Yeah, there's a thing. Yeah. They said it's going to be a
I'm trying to think what I got Friday. Yeah. You know what I have on Friday? I'll tell you what I have on Friday. I'm recording a podcast with a guy from England who and I can't remember his name, Eric. Starts with a W, his last name. But I can't remember. But he just ran across the country, across the U.S. So he dipped his toe in the. He
just felt like running.
Yeah, and he grew the Forrest Gump beard. He did. He looks great. But I can't wait to talk to him and talk about how he made it from Maine to L.A. or wherever he dipped his toe in on the West Coast. I think of that and I'm like, that would be awesome to do.
I would never want to do that.
I don't think I'd ever have the time, especially now with a newborn. What am I going to do? Put her in a stroller and take off for 6 months?
It's fine. Running stroller, she's fine.
Yeah.
She's going to sleep the whole time anyway.
Right.
She's so cute.
She's a good kid. I don't even want to, knock on wood. She's been sleeping like crazy. I love it. So far, so good.
For now.
But, so you have, is the only race you have on your calendar for next year Mont Tremblant?
No,
you have the half too, didn't you?
Yeah. air quotes, Ironman Connecticut, aka Quasi.
So you sound upset that they took that out. So Ironman bought the local race.
They did, and Rev 3 did such a great job running it, and I've done a lot of Ironman branded races, and they do a good job as well. But there was something about it not being an Ironman race that I really enjoyed. Rev 3 decided they're going to focus on smaller races, so sprints and Olympics, and sold off actually all of their 70.3 distances. But it was just, and I'm sure it's going to be the same like people, but just differences. Like Rev 3, they want you to run across the finish line with your family, and Ironman, absolutely not. No one can cross the finish line for safety reasons, and it's
drives me insane.
So then there's a cost associated, so it's more expensive to do it for Ironman versus that, and then they lose the Olympic. So the Olympic distance is something that everyone really liked to do for Rev 3, and now it's only a half. So not only a half, but only liked to do that distance now don't get to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's either you go up to the half or you don't do any.
So I like the race. It's a challenging race.
I was going to say,
the course is going to be.
Is it more steep than Lake Placid? Because I think, I go on my one of my trainer apps or the trainer things that I use called Rovi has that the whole course mapped out, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, there is it made Placid seem easy.
Right. So I remember we were training and you did it last year. And I remember you saying that, and I remember thinking, she's crazy. But you're not.
No. A lot of people use it as a tune-up race for Placid.
Yeah.
So the past 2 times that I've done Placid, it was actually my first 70.3, and then it was Placid was my first full, and I was just like, oh, thank goodness I did that 70.3, because that was harder than doing this, because you have to do more climb and less distance.
Yeah, I got to work on my hills. This is...
we're going to keep going back and forth up Munson Road. You're going to be
I don't know. Yeah, all right.
Oh, you don't know it?
No.
Oh, yeah. I think going backwards up Keene Descent.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you do that? I don't know.
You don't like yourselves, or
I'll tell you I was talking to someone about the course, because my friend Joe is doing the half next year. It's his first half. He's in the group too, the discussion group. And, he was asking me how steep Placid was. And I was trying to tell him, it's a lot, there's no real 10% grade. There's not super duper steep. It's just really long and
8 miles
of 4%, 5%, whatever it is. And it's a grind. But I think that one of the hidden sort of not negatives, but hidden difficulties of that course is that all of the downhill is in really one place
spot. Yeah.
And it's over so quickly. And you're talking about, a 56-mile loop and 4 miles of downhill.
Yeah. And this year, the course that you're going to be doing again this year, they managed to add more climb. So they actually took out an area where you would get some more reprieve downhill and put it into being more climb.
Did they change the course? You mean for next year?
So it's the same course as last year.
Which
for this year. Yeah, so it's 8,500 feet of climb for the full 2 loops.
And I tell you, that little piece, that little parking lot they added.
Yeah, that sucked. that could have totally gone somewhere else.
And so you go into this parking lot and it's steep down. I think we talked about this in the last podcast that got deleted. So you're already going uphill, and then you got to make a right into, I want to say, what's that, Whiteface Mountain?
Yep.
Right. So you make a right into the Whiteface Mountain parking lot, and you go down this steep hill. And the thing is, as you go down, and at this point, I knew I was just finishing one loop and I was probably done. And I remember just going down that steep hill, and you should be enjoying it.
Right. No, but you're seeing everybody climbing up.
But yeah, then you just look to your left, and everyone's climbing back up the hill that you just went down. And you're just what? You can't even enjoy the downhill.
Nope.
And not only that, but then when you climb out of the parking lot up the hill, and you got to make a right-hand turn.
To go uphill.
Yeah. Oh. I'm going to love that next year.
Everybody asking about class, it's just one big uphill.
Yeah, you should just practice when you have the trainer, you got to put your front wheel up on 2 risers.
Yep.
And, man, but I got to work on hills in the off season. I could probably take this offline after, but you know what? We'll talk about it after, because I don't want to get too detailed into my training. You're my guest. You're my guest. But, so listen, I do wish you all the best of luck next year with your races. And with your training.
Yeah.
And seriously, if you guys are out there and you're listening, and I mean, I think, if you're just starting in triathlon or you just have some questions, I'm sure Laura would be absolutely thrilled to hear from you. If you have any questions for her about, if you're a beginner or looking for a trainer or whatever.
Even just questions. Don't feel like you're going to have to, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to time this like a lawyer and you're going to pay me per hour. Like,
She's $95 an hour.
Yeah, I'm really good.
But, you prorate it by the second.
Yeah, right.
But, no, I think you're going to do great. And, I'm looking forward to watching, kind of,
really
like I said, I'm living vicariously through you in this. I'm like, yeah, you're going to be really successful.
Thank you. I hope so.
I'm very certain of this.
Even if that's not for anybody else, it's going to make myself better. So
right. You're and then good luck in your races again too.
And you
next
too.
year.
I'm excited to see you.
I know. This is great.
Line.
It's kind of weird. You know what's weird is I started running and I remember training for the New York City Marathon and thinking nobody in my neighborhood runs marathons. And it turns out like a bunch of people do.
Yeah.
And then I remember training for Ironman thinking nobody in my neighborhood trains for Ironman. Mm-hmm. And then they do.
Yeah.
There's a whole group of people.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on around here?
Cyclonauts.
You know what it is? Like, I think you feel like you're an exclusive club when you do it, and then you realize you're not.
You're not. Yeah.
You're not.
You kind of are, but it's like it's a small, big community. So just real quick was when we were running the marathon at Placid.
Yeah.
I saw a Cyclonaut jersey. I know it's a local tri club, and I'm looking over and I'm talking to this guy for a little bit. I'm like, are you Peter? And he's like, yeah, it's a guy, Peter Stone, that I'm friends with on Facebook just because he's, a local. And we're running together and only like just to have that connection. Somebody from back home that lives like one town over just happened to be like, wait, I know you as we're running a marathon
crazy.
doing.
Just happen to meet, stumble across.
Yeah. So he's going to help me with running up that mountain on Friday.
That's awesome. So, yeah. That's awesome. So I'll tell my own story similar to that. So that you ever hear the group HEAT?
Yes.
It's Hartford Extended Area Triathletes.
Yep.
Something like that?
Something like.
So, I have a friend of mine at work. Her name's Jen, and Jen is a member of HEAT, but she doesn't do she hasn't done an Ironman. She's done smaller triathlons. So I'm running Lake Placid and I see someone wearing a HEAT suit, HEAT, not HEAT suit, kit. But a HEAT, kit. And so I run by, I'm like, hey, do you know Jen, my friend Jen? And they're like, no, there's a lot of people in the group. And I'm like, oh, well, she's in HEAT.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, not the same.
Well, yeah, it's a little different meaning. And we just started laughing, and then that was it. She was in HEAT. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Laura. I'm sure you're gonna be back. You live down the road.
I do.
You're a great guest. I love having you on.
Not even a minute down the road.
Yeah. So
I knew I could run late in the shower and
right. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But so we have a lot of. I got to tell you. So I wanted to do a bunch of podcasts. One of the things that got me in a bad mood last week was that I was supposed to do a podcast on Skype, and Skype broke down on me, and I couldn't. Either I called the guy, and either I could hear him and he couldn't hear me, or the opposite. So I couldn't figure out the audio, but I finally think I got it nailed down, and I'm actually recording that podcast tonight. So I'm trying to make up for lost time here. And then I got the London guy, the guy from that ran across the U.S. I got to talk to him on Friday. So hopefully we'll kick out a bunch of podcasts here. I'm trying to catch a little bit of a headwind here going into the year end. And I got New Year's resolution coming. I always do like a New Year's resolution special. I got to think of some stuff. I think, I got some stuff. I got some good stuff. I'll be ready. Until then, always remember, when it comes to running, I'm no expert. I'm just ordinary.